Hello Sofa Squad. Today we're going to be talking about a couple of quick updates and some of my opinions on them about things that took place late last week with Letecia Stauch, as well as over the weekend with the two West brothers, Orrin and Orson. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. So Saturday, the Bakersfield Police Department were out in full force with other agencies searching for the boys. Now they were searching an empty lot in southeast Bakersfield. There have been searches there by the public before, so this was like maybe an official search, things of that nature. Now there were some other agencies out there with them. The Kern County Search and Rescue as well as the FBI were out there. Now there was around like 50 or so people in total, and the sergeant did hold a press conference after the fact to kind of confirm, what little he was willing to do. Now, first and foremost, this was near the location of where Jacqueline and Trezell used to live in Bakersfield. So there's that. Now, the sergeant did confirm, yes, we are out here. This is a search for the boys, so that is confirmed. And sadly, they did not find the toddlers out there that day. Now, before he was going to answer questions, the sergeant in his little press conference, he did say, look, you know what? It's going to be limited. We are trying to preserve this case, this investigation, so I'm just calling that out. Now, in response to like, why are they at this location? He was like, look, this is a natural progression of the investigation, and he was like, you know what, we go investigate places such as this, whatever, with tips from the public as well as facts that we have learned from our investigation so far. Now, he also would not confirm if they did or did not find anything, which is completely understandable. And again, he urged people, anyone who has had firsthand contact with these boys in the last year, please come forward. You can do it anonymously. We need to hear from you. Okay, so now, sofa sidebar on that, and this is allegedly street. This is not fact. This is me and my opinion on the couple of things that he said. When he said that this is a natural progression in the case, and we take tips from the public and facts that we've learned, to me, this is what this is saying. The boys weren't in California, okay? Or I'm sorry, the boys were not in California City. We're going back to Bakersfield and we're starting here. Where is something that has taken place here? So again, that's just my two thoughts on it. I just think it's interesting that they've moved everything over there. They're focusing on this area now. I feel like that's where the answers are going to be. Perla Shaheen with KGTV, she interviewed Rosanna Wills, who is a biological cousin of the boys, and her friend Laura, and it was interesting. It was a very short interview or whatever, but she was basically saying, hey, what are your thoughts? Have y'all searched out here before? What do you think of Bakersfield having this investigation? They said, we're very excited to see Bakersfield take over the investigation. And they said, yeah, we have searched this area before with other people. We've done boots on the ground, all that kind of stuff. But she was like, this is going to be probably much more expanded, much more intense, much more official. So they were like, hey, absolutely, let's get more eyes on the ground. Now, Rosanna did speak with one of the investigators, the detectives, and when asked, like, well, what did he talk to you about? What's the tea? She was like, he basically was just like, what, everything's cool. Y'all just be careful what you're doing, please. Just don't do anything to hinder this investigation. Almost like, just kind of, let us do our thing for a hot minute. We got you. You know what I'm saying? And I think she feels like, okay, you know what I mean? I feel decent with that. I think them coming out and searching this area, again, we don't know if they got a specific tip, if there's something going on, but it's like, okay, we're starting here in Bakersfield. Clearly there's something telling them that's where they need to look, and we're starting with, ground zero, and we're going to come out everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And like make things official. I mean, have tons of people on it, so on and so forth. I'm very excited to see this. I just feel like, and again, this is just me, allegedly street, saying this, I feel like we're close to getting some form of an answer. And I should change that to, I pray that we are close to getting some form of an answer. Now, next up on the list is the one, the only Letecia Stauch. So Letecia was back for her status hearing. Now remember, she does not want a representation. She wants to represent herself. And so that's the little road we're on right now with her. Now, if you ask me, this is just going to continue to victimize Gannon's family, the memory of Gannon as well. I think she's going to get complete pleasure out of that. And I think she's going to do some horrible things to the family members along the way. And we'll talk about that in a second. So here's what was going on at her court appearance. Now, first of all, reporter Spencer Wilson Wilson was in the courtroom live tweeting. I'll put a link to his Twitter down in the description box. He is excellent. He makes excellent commentary in the case. He's just wonderful. So he was in there live tweeting as things were going on. Now, at one point, he said that Letecia said in response to the redaction process to like the evidence and whatnot that it was BS, but she didn't say BS. She said the other thing. And I'm like, yep, Letecia, that's gonna get you real far. Now, one of the aspects of this whole situation that was proving to be difficult was getting all these documents to Letecia. So remember, I mean, she's incarcerated, and there was like at first count, almost 30,000 pages of stuff. So I mean, you do the math on that. So this is kind of coming into how are we going to do this? Now, we will learn that they got like 14,000 pages of documents to her, well, at least to the jail. Now, Letecia would pipe over this and say, you know what, the El Paso County Jail took those for me so they could look over them, and I've only met my legal counsel so far, and I don't know if I want to waive my right to the proof evident hearing until I see those pages. So now the judge would end up saying, you know what, we need to destroy the 14,000 because they weren't properly redacted. We need to, do the proper redactions. He also says that they need to make them in paper form so that she doesn't have to sit at a computer 2 hours a day because this is an issue. Now, the whole thing about how to get her stuff, whether it's evidence or access to, law library, all this stuff, becomes kind of a security issue. Just remember Ted Bundy. Now, granted, different time, different, all this stuff, but just remember what went down with that. Now, when all this stuff is brought up, with like her past, like escape attempts, trying to get people to help her escape and that she's a security risk and all this stuff, she will scoff at this. And her attorney apparently like holds his hand up like, girl, don't do it. And this is my thing. I'm like, that's the kind of stuff that the judge has already warned her over, that it's like, you're going to get tossed off this case probably before it gets started or out of the courtroom, because she can't control herself, with these little comments here and there and all this stuff. Now, take all that aside, here's the next part that has me like, ugh. This is, I fear for his family, for Gannon's family is what I mean. Now, in regards to the redaction, the judge is like, look, you can redact like social security number, addresses, but as far as like personal names and contacts and things of that nature, he's like, she can see those so that she can contact them or like, be assisted with the DA to contact these people. That part, I'm just like, you are kidding me. I'm just like, so she's going to be able to reach out and try and question these people. Y'all, I am just imagining the actual trial going down and her being able to question these people on the stand. And I'm just like, this is horrible. This is hard because she's going to love every second of that. And whatever this alleged, bombshell information is, I mean, which I don't think is going to be anything. I think it will get tossed out immediately, whatever it is. I just feel like, what? Here it goes. She is going to continue to victimize that family. Now, at the end of the day, she's going to end up getting around 1,800 pages of documents to review to begin with. So, I mean, this is going to keep her busy for a while. Now, her next court date will not be until May 20th at like 9 a.m. So it's going to be a hot minute. She's got all that reading to do. So, she going to be busy. At least she won't have time to, talk to her peanut butter and plan, idiotic escape attempts. So we're going to keep following this one because, again, I just feel like this is going to be that much more painful for Gannon's family. And I think that she's going to enjoy every second of that. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me and Roscoe today on the sofa. Thank you to all the Patreons, members, subs, all that. I appreciate it very greatly. And that's it. Until next time, I'll see you later.